All right, next up we have Yaz Malik, I believe. Fuck, now I really got to zoom in to fucking look at this. Yaz is annoying and obnoxious, and I missed her best years, and I feel bad about it, but ultimately I won't miss the character. I'll be happy to see her gone for a couple of years. But yeah, not really a character I was going to get along with, and I thought her loveless marriage with Tom was fucking futile. Next up we have Romeo Nightingale. I think Romeo is intended to be meh. Like, I think he's genuinely supposed to be the most cheesy fucking character known to man. He's a little pretty boy, and he's cheesy as fuck, and it's like, I don't want to just be this idiot guy, but like, come on, mate, come on. Come on. Come on. What are you acting for? I don't want to be this sexy meathead. Well, good luck, mate. But yeah, I think the character is just like fucking, he's almost ridiculously silly in a sense. He's kind of like so on the nose that it's kind of ridiculous. But, you know, I appreciate what the actor did. He did some good years, did the stuff with Lily, he was good at he was better than he had any right to be. But I still think the character was by design, like a by the numbers, straight-laced. I'm a little fucking himbo. Look at me go. Alright, next up, Nico Blake. I love Nico, personally. I thought she was really fucking interesting. And it's a shame that she was killed off. And even when she was brought back as a ghost, I was pretty happy. I am just eternally sad that she died in the way that she did. And I'm sad that I don't get to see her as a Hollyoaks fan, as we are right now. Next up, Sally St. Clair, John Paul's parent. I like Sally. I think she does a great job at just being that kind of like older McQueen who is trying to keep the family together. I like that every like Pride month she gets like a big role to kind of express about, you know, being an openly trans person playing a trans character. And I appreciate what she does. I appreciate it for the visibility. I appreciate it for the representation. This may not be the most like guns blazing kind of like story carrying character, but as an extra or like a recurring character, I'm quite happy. I just want Sally and John Paul to have a easier time. Or is that Summer? I believe it's Summer. I really liked Summer personally. Like, her relationship with Sienna was kind of, I don't know, me and one of my best mates were watching it at the time, and we were just like, wow. What a woman. just both fucking like, oh, I love you, Summer. Oh, I love you so much. She played the slightly crazy daughter of Cormac Ranger, got into this weird relationship with Brody, got into this relationship with Sienna, tried to kill Brody. I thought she was amazing. I loved her. At the time, I was like, it's a bit of a shame that she turned out to be mental, but I appreciate the character, and I miss her, and I hope that eventually she'll come back. I respect her, and it was also just, she was a woman who is also disabled, and it wasn't really a big deal made out of it, you know? Alright, next up. Is that Diane with fucking... Yeah, it's Diane with Verity's hair colour. For fuck's sake. Diane... Ooh, Diane, for the most part, has been that frumpy housewife character and is a bit of a fucking nuisance. I was really not a fan of the OCD stuff when that was happening, but I can appreciate through time that I think her relationship with Tony is kind of perfect, and I hope it isn't ruined by the fact that, you know, just with time. So, but I don't really like you. I think you're like up the top of meh. Right, next up we have Scott Drinkwell, who is Diane's like cousin or some shit. Scott is a character who through time has grown on me dramatically, and at first he was once again obnoxious, annoying and loud, and at the start when he was brought in a bit more of a con artist type deal. But he had that storyline about male depression, and it's just fundamentally, he's been a fantastic servant to the show, a wonderful bit of, you know, campy comic relief, and I like Scott in the end. Next up we have Tom Cunningham. If I can have a storyline with Tom that I like, I'll tell you. But for now, it's not really manifested so much. I thought his stuff with Sienna was cool. I enjoyed the stuff with Perry when they were having Steph at a young age. But Tom's kind of... He's a part of the furniture. He's that kind of, like, by-the-numbers, strict rules, less, like, slightly alternative type. Like, I like you, Tom, but I'm really gonna need to see some interesting storylines from you if I keep up this amount of appreciation for you. Next up we have Verity. I love Verity. I thought she was a character who was kind of caught in the middle of what she wanted to do and what the show wanted her to do. I would have loved to have seen... I don't know. I would have loved to have seen her live. I was sad when she died. I think it's a massive shame, but I don't know. She brought a real, like, class and elegance and, like, beauty. And I enjoyed her stuff with Shaq, so I love Verity. I thought she was really good. It is a shame that she died. I think this next one is Connor Price. This is the Jordan Price. There we are. Jordan Price, cousin of Sid Sumner. He got Sid and Juliet to work for him in the county lines. He ultimately slept with both Perry and Leela, and in the end got stabbed by Ella. It's just not interesting in the slightest. Thought he was kind of... I was amazed that he made it a year, and it was kind of wild to see that he managed to survive a year and then was the big, like, flash forward tease that they did. So, yeah, he's in hate. He's just fucking shit in all ways. Sami Malik. Probably hate as well, I won't lie. The character still had that same obnoxious kind of attitude and felt that he was better than you, but as someone who's a Shaq fan, I much preferred Shaq than Sami. I thought that Sami was kind of superficial and boring, and I don't really think he had chemistry with any of the people he was with, and I think the actor was lucky to have his job. I won't lie. No, it's just... He was so boring and so wooden that there was just no point. Goldie. I like Goldie, but she doesn't do anything, and I like that she fits really well as a McQueen, but she's never going to ascend to that top tier if they don't actually give her the big impactful storylines, which we know she's good for. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting some proper storylines, you're not really going to get the favourable treatment. Next up we have Martine. I was fed up of Martine. She also is okay, like proud businesswoman. Had that relationship with Felix. Didn't she have a formative cancer storyline? And they got back together, and it fell apart. Nah, Toby was not Toby. Nah, I just really didn't like Martine. Alright, next up we have Lisa Loveday. From the little I saw of Lisa, I thought she was a fun character. Like, I appreciate what she did. I you know, amid all of like the race row stuff and being killed by Toby. Wait, hold on, what the fuck? No, Jesus Christ. I caught them at different points in time. Because they were told about Louis and, like, I was like, wait, Louis was married to Martine, obviously, when me recognizing Louis was with Simone. But, yeah, Yeah, Lisa was, like I said, a fun character that I enjoy. I still haven't seen too much of her, but you know, I liked her and I enjoyed her, and yeah, sorry, I don't have much to say about Lisa, unfortunately. I mostly remember her stuff with Mac and her relationship with Mac's son Nathan. Yeah. Alright, John Paul McQueen. I like John Paul. I don't love him just because he is on that constant end of bad news. Like, the second he gets a proper, nice, happy storyline, I'm going to be happy for him. And he'll probably ascend up to love. But as he still keeps getting fucking shit in his face, I just realised they're not, my hate's not showing up. But yeah, man, like I do really want to like you, John Paul, but there's just never really the best reason why. And I feel like he's just constantly like just getting the shittest end of the stick. It's like, oh, you can be happy, John Paul, but stab. Great. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Not Georgie Porter. Teresa McQueen. Meh. She's okay. I like what she does. She does the Teresa stuff well. And I've enjoyed her at times. It's just a character who they seem permanently scared and permanently worried about what to do with the character, because I feel like continually she's just fucking, oh, you want to do this? No, wrong. It's like, what? Yeah, but why? Wrong. It's like, yeah, I feel like the character's never progressing. She's never like growing up. She's never being smarter. She's still basically the same. I feel like she's still basically the same character as she was 10 years ago, except a bit older, essentially. And that's my issue with Teresa. She could be really interesting if they gave her a true like romance or a true like story for her to grit her teeth in. But she's just the silly McQueen comic relief. Nancy! I love Nancy. God, I've really been quite stringent with all the characters I've actually put in the best. But I can't put Nancy in the best because simply she does get on everybody's nerves a bit. As much as I do love Nancy and Darren, I don't love Nancy constantly nagging Darren, even though it is reasonable. But I will say she does the serious stuff well, and she can be in the top tier. It's Nancy. She's fantastic. I respect it. Next up, Mercedes. Come on, it's Mercedes McQueen, for fuck's sake. There's no other place other than the top. Mercedes is a fucking hypocrite. She can't stop herself from self-destructing, and I love her for it. She is so ridiculously soap character. She is probably she's probably the most, maybe not the most iconic Hollyoaks character, but she's definitely top 5. Like, I once again though, I do hope she has these twins and they're fine and there's no issues with them. But you know, there will always be more heartbreak with Mercedes, and I still say her and Joe were probably the OTP. All right, Donna Marie. Donna Marie is obviously Juliet and Romeo's mum. She played that kind of addict character and kind of stepped up in the Marnie role once Marnie died. I started to really like Donna Marie, but obviously she relapsed after Juliet, and that kind of stains the legacy, and she just fucked off. It felt like she was going to get more of a long-term future as this matriarch. Obviously, once Juliet left, once Romeo left, there wasn't really a place for Donna Marie, so she can go and like you. She was decent enough. Ugh. Alright, is it this dodgy picture of Tony? Tony has to be in Love You. I can't say that I enjoy Tony like all the time, but I can appreciate how important he is to Hollyoaks, how interesting as a character he is, how when he does get the big storylines he smashes it. I recognize that you know, Tony is Hollyoaks, and yeah, no, solid. Like, I feel like every soap needs that like backbone, and the backbone of Hollyoaks is like Steve, Mercedes, Tony, Darren, maybe, I don't know. Imran. I think it's just don't like. Imran was fucking boring at the best of times. Never got a big storyline to do. He had the big story, which I think they thought would have done better than it did. That being Imran's eating disorder. Like, just not fucking interesting. Like, could never get me to care. I thought him and the person at the eating disorder clinic were gonna get together. But no, I just don't like Imran. I liked his relationship with Julie at the end, but knowing that it was pretty much just, oh shit, Sid's gone. Well, but yeah, there we are. Imran up there. I think this is Jesse Donovan. Sorry, I'm fucking up with the. I mean, I could just keep it up. These are all the characters that are left. I'm sure this video is going to be in 2 anyways. Yeah, I think this is Jesse Donovan. I honestly can't tell you what he did. Jesse Donovan. Yeah, I think it's Jesse Donovan. He was Courtney's husband, I think. Yeah, I didn't get much with him. Yeah, just meh. Ugh. Is that who the fuck is this? Is this Toby? I think so. Toby was a failed experiment of a character and was really fucking boring and just a waste of time. It's probably not like the bottom of my hate, like for sure, but just nah. Not fucking interesting. Where? Oh, that's wild. Next over, Brody. I did enjoy Brody at the time, but in retrospect, he was fucking glorifiably mid at best. I liked his dynamic with Sienna. I liked him in the Summer and Sienna stuff. But he was a shit character and didn't really add much. Felix, I honestly think Felix is getting up there as one of the Hollyoaks characters who are, you know, I feel like we have a Hollyoaks for lifer. I feel like he's going to stay as long as he wants and as long as the people will still have him. Him as Felix has ascended to that higher tier of characters, in my opinion. And he's kind of that, like I said, he is that like lovable rogue type character. And I can appreciate what he's done, and I appreciate, like, I appreciate what he's done for the show. I'm glad that after his dodgy EastEnders stint, I'm glad that the actor's getting a proper chance at a soap, because he truly does bring the heat, and he's pretty fucking cool. I do wonder what his situation going to be like with Warren leaving. They were very intertwined. But, you know, I feel like in his absence, I feel like Felix can kind of hold the weight, as is some of the more, like, oncoming characters, like the fucking Freddie Roscoe, etc., etc. Grace Black. I know that Grace, by the end, just became a bit... I keep going to use the word frumpy, but I don't really know if that's what I'm meaning. Kind of became that really, like, bored mum housewife type character. And judging where Grace came from, it's kind of a criminal shame that that's where she ended up. And that's where, obviously, you know, in other soaps she'd be iconic, but because of how fucking limited and how just kind of wasted at the end she became, I do hope that through time, with some better producers, she's brought back and they fucking realize we have Grace fucking Black, you know? Next up we have Breeder. McQueen, just put her in hate. Just killed off so many cool characters that would have, I'd say so many. She killed off Harry, essentially. She killed off Harry. She killed off Harry McQueen. Harry McQueen? Harry Hutchinson. He wasn't a McQueen. He wasn't a Hutchinson. Harry Thompson. Killed off... I don't care about Carl Costello, I'll be real with you. I do want to go back and Glenn Donovan. I would like to go back and watch the Breeder stuff. But ultimately, like, killed off Mac. It was a time where Hollyoaks had a lot of serial killers and they didn't fucking... Yeah, I think I say hate her because of what she did and who she killed, but ultimately I would need to watch it through fully again to figure out exactly what she was doing. Next up is, I think he's called Brad. He was Trish's... She was Trish's, like, partner for a while, and he was dodgy, and then Fergus took over. Right, next up is Sienna Blake, who is right next to Steve as my kind of second favourite Hollyoaks character of all time. If people know anything about me, I am much like a lot of the soap fandom, where if there's a character who's slightly crazy or slightly like mental, in that they'll do things that other people wouldn't do, or they'll do anything to get what they think they deserve and want, I fucking love them. And Sienna's definitely Patrick's kid, right? Sienna is fucking mental. But I absolutely adore everything she does. I really have enjoyed a lot of all her storylines. And yeah, she is just top tier for me. And I'll fight anybody that says otherwise. Oh, excuse me. Next we have Leela. Lomax. It has to be and don't like. I don't like Leela. Really. I think she is... I don't really know how to describe how I feel about Leela. I think she... Oh, I need to do it the other way. I think that Leela is a character who... I don't know if they just don't know what to do with her, or she's just not very interesting. And she always finds herself in fucking stupid scenarios, and no, I just don't like her. Like, even, you know, most people get the fucking Steve rub, right? People like close to Steve get that little boost. I like Tegan more. I prefer Tegan, really. Yeah, don't like Leela. The next up we have Juliet Nightingale. I'll put you up there. I did love Juliet. She was a kid who had to grow up too fast, and then once grown up, she was mardy as fuck and just didn't let anybody ever get her time to fucking, like, you know, just was never allowed to. I don't know, it's just, as the second she would get comfortable, she'd, like, fucking blow up at people. I think she had the making to being a truly, like, good, like, Hollyoaks character, but unfortunately, the actress wanted to leave, and they decided to kill her off. I feel like if she ever wanted to come back, it would have been amazing, because, you know, such a young actress, such a fucking... She was there for 5 years. But, yeah, just never really allowed to exist once again. But she was another character who was really fucking good in... She was, like... I appreciated her. And she did deserve to get nominated for Best Leading Performer at the British Soap Awards. I hope she does something else. But, you know, like I said, unfortunately she's dead now, so she can't come back. Timmy! Fucking Timmy. Timmy was a little perv who got a bit obsessed with Perry. Once he got a bit too obsessed with Perry, Fergus shot him. He was shit. Alright, who's next? Who is that? Oh, Jesus. It's Katie McGlynn. I don't remember what her fucking Hollyoaks character was called, but she had that storyline with Ollie where she was a conspiracy theorist and she preyed on his dad dying and tried to say that Becky Quentin. Yeah, she was a conspiracy theorist and was just there to kind of take the conspiracy theorist angles. Eventually, she fucking... I even know how she left, but she was just shit. She was annoying, she was useless, and I suppose hate, like, just the amount of, like, conspiracy nutters are out there, just, oh, please, just leave it out. Next we have Ali Shazad. I mean, he was obviously a womanizing rapist, so fuck that guy. Saul, I believe it was Saul, was with Grace. Saul Reeves, he was the police officer. He was there from September to July. Wasn't there too long and then had the storyline afterwards. He was stabbed by Joseph. who was also on this list, and it was all pinned on Mitchell. No, not Mitchell. Marcus. DeMarcus. There we are. Fuck now. Close enough. Yeah, it was that big, long-winded storyline played out where DeMarcus was kind of pointed out to do this, and it was like a, you know, fight against the like societal prejudices, and just, I don't know, it was a long-winded storyline. I thought Saul was an ultimately good man who was with Grace. I did enjoy him, but he was ultimately mad and didn't do anything. Right, so next up, I think, is... what the fuck was she called? Prince McQueen's nearly wife? Who was she? Olivia Bradshaw. For a while in there, it seemed like she was actually bedding into the McQueens, but in the end, she just proved that she was a serving, scheming bitch. And you kind of loved it, but ultimately she fucked off. And I'm pretty sure she cheated on... Yeah, she cheated on Hunter. No, she cheated on Prince with Hunter the day before the wedding. And yeah, she was a big bitch. And I can appreciate what she was there to do. It was a way to bring Prince back in, and an interesting way to bring back Hunter. She was just a really good soap bitch. And you always need the soap bitches. Sounds a bit fucking chauvinistic when I say it like that. Next up we have DeMarcus. I like DeMarcus. I didn't like the constant back and forth over whether we were supposed to like... whether we were... I don't even remember talking about Adam. Or whatever he was in Hollyoaks. He had that big, storyline where he committed suicide and struggled with depression. Played by Adam Ricketts, who was Nick Platt in Coronation Street. Sorry. I know people... people may be like, oh, you fucking forgot him. Yeah, well, leave me alone, right? But yeah, Olivia played a good role and she did it well. This is... Pearl. I don't remember Pearl's last name. Pearl Anderson, nan to Zoe and mum of Jamelia. I forgot what her name is in the show. She's glorified mess. She's okay. She kind of gossips. She takes piss. She is religious. It was nice to see when she was introduced. It's nice to see that she's still kept her role even on, but I can't see her sticking around that long. Or she just stays for another 10 years and doesn't do much. I don't know. I like the dynamic between Zoe and Jamelia. I think it's cool fucking... I like those characters. And I think that Pearl's a good addition. So she is, she's a bit higher than all these. So we have Serena Chen Williams. I really would have liked to say like you, but she ultimately was just dislikable. Like I said, if they had proceeded to do the storyline with Sid and Serena, that would have been cool. But ultimately, they did the exercise where she was burning herself out. She took medication. She disqualified herself. And then when she wasn't an athlete, she just kind of fucked about a bit. She was in a relationship with Imran. And ultimately, they wrote off the character. Jesus. They wrote off the character a bit too suddenly. And she didn't really do anything. I thought she was good. I thought she was interesting. But I thought that she was really, really underutilized. Lexi Calder, played by Alicia. Well, I don't know the actress name, but obviously she was the character who played Alicia Metcalf, who was with David Metcalf and Jacob's mum. I don't want to say in hate, but I will just say I hate how little she was used for what you know she's good for. And I feel like she was just a one-note, I must hate revenge on John Paul for causing Freya's accident. If there's one thing I will appreciate that she has, like, that, you know, she brought in Freya, who has come on to be a fairly interesting character, and I'm pretty happy that she's on the show now. Ethan Chen Williams. Ooh. Obviously, at the time, the Ethan stuff was very boring, but through his relationship with Sienna, through his stuff with Steve, his friendship with Darren, I feel like it's probably a bit ambitious saying he's in the best, but I feel like he's one of the characters who crept through at a... You know, he's crept through the family he was in. He's kind of grown to be a bigger part of the show in its own right. I really do love Ethan. I think he's great. I think he's funny. I think he plays his role well. I just hope that he keeps getting the storylines and he keeps getting to fucking exist. And he's come a long way in the 3 years or so he's been on the show. That's Maya? She was the like crime boss and he was the bitch and she died. So who won? Dave Chen Williams. He's honestly, he's got to be in hate. He's so useless. Like, it's hard to see him as Cameron from Emmerdale. It's really fucking weird. Because he's just a shit dad. And, like, I really don't understand how fucking mediocre he is. And, I know, the actor does the best he can. But I really can't say that he's done anything particularly fucking interesting otherwise. And I don't know how he's becoming like a mainstay. I really don't understand how. Because his relationship with... What the fuck she called? He's just not interesting in the slightest to me. And I really don't think he's... Like, I appreciate that Ethan's there because of him, but I don't need to see him. Lizzie, she's okay. She doesn't do anything. She's sticking around for reasons. If there was anybody I would cut immediately, probably would be Lizzie. She's okay, but she just feels like she's out of place. Honor Chen Williams. Yeah, I don't even know. She was an interesting look at like being a psychologist and kind of seeing how that plays out, but like I said, just like Serena, she was taken out too early, didn't ever really get to rip her teeth into the role, and we never really got to see any other side than her marriage with Dave, which was dead. So unfortunate. I thought she could have been cool. She was really happy to be involved, but yeah, some characters just don't get the love. Sam Chen Williams, boring as fuck, not interesting in the slightest. It's a massive Ed, and got a bit obsessive and stalkerish over Zoe Anderson. Zoe, I do like. I think Zoe's a good addition. She's obviously she's a police detective. She's worked very hard to be here. Has some mummy issues with Jamelia, and has this really nice tight-knit family with Felix, Pearl, and I should really remember her fucking name. Who the fuck is the name? Sharon. Sharon, there we are. Mason. Mason is okay. He had the incel stuff early on. I keep thinking that they're eventually going to give him a relationship. I thought he was going to get with Ella or Leah at some point. But he never has, and he has continued to exist and do nothing. So I like Mason. I just want him to do anything. Zayn is Mizpah's husband, and was Imran's, I don't remember the name of the position. Zayn is meh. He is okay. It's a weird fucking difference from him in Ackley Bridge, where he stabbed someone, and he's okay, but I don't know what he's doing on the show. I don't know, like, I can't tell if he's going to be on the show for another 1 year or another 5. But yeah, like, I would love to see him do something, but he never seems to get the appreciation that he has. Alright, where am I going with this? I'm trying to... Where the fuck? Silas. Sorry, this next person, I don't remember the name. She was the American. Wendy. Good old Wendy Blissett. I really disliked Wendy. She was playing us like a double agent for like Silas, and trying to make sure that Bobby was with the McQueens, but she died, and nah, she was garbage and really not interesting. Right, next is Eric. I didn't mind Eric so much. Eric was interesting descent into the world of incel. I thought, wait, no, is that? Yeah, it is Eric. I thought it was probably the best of a bad bunch. I didn't really enjoy the Eric incel storyline, but I think it served a good purpose. I think some of the special effects they used with Eric were a bit shit. But I enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind seeing Eric back someday, even if they reformed him. But you know, Nadira. I liked her stuff with Juliet. I didn't like any of the other stuff that she did on the show whatsoever. She was boring and not interesting, other than her immediate first storyline, which was the affair with Juliet, unfortunately. So I enjoy what she did, but nah, it's not interesting. Norma Crow, played by Glynis Barber, Glenda Mitchell in EastEnders. I like Norma. I think she's interesting. I want there to be someone else for her to be around for. I would like for, because they were setting up Ella to be her granddaughter, I'd really love if there was another child, or like another young-ish character, young adult, that Norma would kind of like, she would like whittle off some of the sides, she would kind of like sandpaper off the edges and kind of show that she can be vulnerable. Because I do like Glynis Barber. I do like what she does. She plays the role really well, and she's a very good extra character. But if Warren leaves, I don't really see her staying, unfortunately. But obviously, if she does stay, it then leaves the like pathway open for her to become more of her own character, rather than just be Warren's mum. Vicky. I don't remember Vicky's second name. Vicky Grant. She is the foster daughter of Scott. She was in a relationship with Joseph. and DeMarcus, and has kind of just existed as a teen on the show. She exposed the truth that Joseph killed Saul. She departed for a bit, and then eventually, you know, then eventually Vicky just kind of sticks around. I like Vicky. I think she's good, but the main issue with Vicky is she's not that good. Like, she doesn't do much. She doesn't get to do much of anything. And that's kind of a bit of a criminal shame. I think she's a good actress. I think she plays the role well. But ultimately isn't very interesting. Joseph Holmes, or whatever, he's just shit. He was a cocky, privileged white teen who believed he would get away with it because he was a cocky white teen. And who the fuck are you? Who is that woman? Has Serena been put in twice? Am I being face blind? I have no idea who this character is. It is... Oh, who is she? Oh, wait. That's Serena. Oh, wait, it's the woman who was in a relationship with Charlie. How am I not remembering her name? Charlie Dean. It's Xing Lin. There we are. It's Xing Lin. Fucking hell, got there eventually. Xing Lin as well is just maybe not dislike. I may put Serena in Mare. I'd put Xing Lin in Mare as well. Like I said, there was an interesting avenue, but I don't feel like they did an interesting enough job of her, and she departed pretty quickly on anyways. Like, they had the time and the chance to actually become integral characters, but like I said, she left pretty fucking shortly after. She was introduced in December 2022 and left late January 2024. Like, it felt like she was just put there to fill the mold that Serena left, but they also had the same problem where I guess she did have a long relationship with Charlie Dean, but ultimately never fucking amounted to anything. And yeah, Bo Ramsey, he has to be a meh, honestly. The main issue with Bo is he hasn't done anything as well, which is the biggest problem. Like, I do think he's very likable, and I do think he could be an interesting character. But once again, you gotta give these characters storylines to make people give a shit about them. It's the main issue. He plays the role well. I like him as Tony's son. I hope he sticks around. But the main issue is eventually actors get a bit fucking bored of just getting paid to do nothing. So you gotta make them do something. Lacey Lloyd, don't like. She was boring as a character and never had any time for herself. And just, nah. Next up, we have Rain, who I liked. Rain was a abusive manipulator who the fuck are any of these characters? I don't fucking know. Is that a bigger picture of Prince? Is that a hunt? I don't. Why we got what looks like an old picture of Donna Marie and a young picture of who the fuck knows? I guess it has to be Hunter since Prince is there as well. It's alright, just gotta do this for my eyes. That is just Donna Marie, isn't it? And that's Hunter. Perhaps. I don't know why they'd use an old picture. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I've broken everything. I've broken everything, boys. Do apologise. There we are. That's how I had it. Alright, Dylan. Dylan is a breath of fresh air, a openly gay character who is playing a part in the very adorable but pretty tragic Lucas story. I like Dylan. I think he's a great addition, and I enjoy what he does for the show. So, Dylan, I like you. Rafe was meh, but the storyline they set up because of Rafe was really fucking interesting. Wait, hold on. We have old Felix as well. Can I just dump two of these? Alright, I suppose, yeah, well, Felix we've already done, Donna Marie we've done. I suppose if that's not Hunter, I'm sorry. Hunter is meh, he's okay, had interesting stuff with Freya, but hasn't done much. Zara, just shit, just the token hippie type character who, you know, is like, and I'm perfectly fine with characters being like, oh yeah, environmental, but she was boring. And Prince as well. Prince has to be in the same space that Hunter is, because Prince is one, you know, he's a good McQueen, but like I said, it's never going to be given that fucking emotional depth that he probably deserves. So there we are. That is my tier list of the Hollyoaks 2020 Characters Edition. A very, very lengthy look at all the characters who I enjoyed, but also a lot of characters that I didn't quite like. What do you think about my list? Tell me in the comment section down below. But I've been Ash from Watching Walford. I hope you have enjoyed this tier list. If you have, make sure to tell me exactly why in the comment section down below. But yes, this has been Watching Walford. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me in the comment section down below. Excuse me, if you want more tier lists. If you do, tremendous. If you don't, fair enough. Just thought I'd give Hollyoaks some love, as it's been an absolute heater right now. So yeah, there we are. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave your tier lists in the comment in the Discord. And it's been a long one, so I'm gonna go have a lovely little break now. Thank you for watching. Join me in the next one. See you then. Bye bye.